Something extraordinary is happening in your life right now, and you can feel it even if you can't name it. The restlessness that keeps you awake at 3 in the morning, the sudden urge to change everything about your routine, the way familiar places feel foreign and comfortable relationships feel suffocating. These aren't random occurrences, they're signals. And the fact that you found this message today means you're standing at the edge of something massive. Most people spend their entire lives sleepwalking through the same patterns, convinced that the discomfort they feel is just part of being human. They wake up, follow the same route to work, have the same conversations, make the same choices, and wonder why their days blur together into an endless loop of mediocrity. But you're different. You've started to notice the cracks in the foundation of everything you thought was permanent. Here's what nobody tells you about transformation. It doesn't announce itself with fanfare or dramatic revelations. It begins as a whisper in your chest, a gentle nudge that says something needs to shift. And that whisper has been getting louder lately, hasn't it? You've been catching glimpses of a version of yourself that feels more authentic, more alive, more aligned with something you can't quite articulate yet. The universe has a peculiar way of preparing us for change long before we consciously decide we're ready. It starts placing breadcrumbs along your path, a book that falls off a shelf and lands at your feet, a conversation with a stranger that shifts your perspective, an opportunity that appears out of nowhere just when you need it most. These aren't coincidences, they're invitations to step into the next chapter of your existence. Right now, as you listen to these words, your subconscious mind is processing information that your logical brain hasn't caught up to yet. It's recognizing patterns and connections that will become crystal clear in the coming weeks. It's preparing you for decisions you don't even know you'll need to make, and it's clearing out old programming that no longer serves the person you're becoming. Think about the last few months of your life. How many times have you found yourself questioning choices that used to feel automatic? How often have you felt disconnected from people and situations that once brought you comfort? How frequently have you caught yourself daydreaming about possibilities that seem too bold or too different from your current reality? These aren't satisfaction. They're evident signs of that you're outgrowing the container of who you used to be. The most profound shifts in human consciousness happen not when we're desperately seeking change, but when we're finally ready to receive it. And readiness isn't something you can force or manufacture. It emerges naturally when your soul has gathered enough experiences, enough lessons, enough moments of clarity to support a new level of existence. You wouldn't be hearing this message if that readiness wasn't already flowing through your veins. There's a reason why certain people seem to effortlessly attract opportunities, while others struggle for years without making progress. It has nothing to do with luck or privilege or connections. It has everything to do with alignment. When your internal frequency matches the frequency of what you desire, the external world reorganizes itself to reflect that harmony. And your frequency has been shifting whether you've noticed it or not. Every time you've chosen authenticity over approval, you've raised your vibration. Every moment and your connection to your logical obj, you've trusted your intuition. Despite actions, you've strengthened higher wisdom. Every instance you've walked away from something that felt wrong, even when it looked right on paper, you've cleared. These seemingly small acts, space for something better to enter your life of self-trust, have been building toward this moment. Change isn't something that happens to you, it's something that happens through you. And the most powerful transformations occur when you stop trying to control the process and start collaborating with the intelligence that's been guiding you all along. That intelligence knows exactly what needs to fall away and what needs to emerge. It knows the perfect timing for every shift. It knows how to orchestrate circumstances in ways that your limited human perspective could never imagine. The resistance you've been feeling isn't fear of the unknown. It's the last desperate attempt of your old identity to maintain relevance. That version of you served its purpose beautifully, but it was never meant to be permanent. It was a stepping stone, a necessary stage in your evolution towards something more expansive and more true to your essential nature. What's about to unfold in your life will challenge everything you thought you knew about what's possible. It will require you to trust processes you don't understand, to make choices that logical sense, and to believe don't make in outcomes that seem too good to be real. But here's the secret that successful people understand and unsuccessful people never learn. The universe doesn't operate according to human logic. It operates according to love, according to growth, according to the highest good of all beings involved. The coming opportunities, like anything you've experienced before because your way won, you'll look, never been of this version of yourself before. The solutions to problems that have puzzled you for years will appear obvious once you see them from your new perspective. The relationships that align with your authentic self will feel completely different from the connections you've known in the past. Your intuition has been preparing you for this transition by gradually disconnecting you from people, places, and situations that would hold you back. It's been creating space in your life for experiences that will support your growth. It's been fine-tuning your sensitivity so you can recognize the subtle signs and synchronicities that will guide your next steps. The old you might have missed these signals or dismissed them as imagination, but the person you're becoming has developed the awareness to notice when the universe is speaking and the courage to listen. You've learned to distinguish between the voice of fear that keeps you small and the voice of wisdom that calls you forward, and that discernment will be essential for navigating what comes next. Everything you've experienced up to this point has been preparation for what's about to unfold. Those moments of confusion when nothing seemed to make sense, the periods of isolation when you felt completely alone in your thoughts, the dreams that felt more real than your waking life. They were all part of a carefully orchestrated awakening that's been building momentum beneath the surface of your conscious awareness. You've probably noticed that time feels different lately. Hours pass like minutes when you're engaged in activities that truly matter to you, yet minutes drag like hours when you're stuck in situations that no longer fit. This isn't your imagination playing tricks on you. It's your expanded consciousness recognizing the difference between alignment and resistance, between flow and force, between living and merely existing. The people in your life are about to reveal themselves in ways you never expected. Some will celebrate your growth and evolution, genuinely excited to witness your transformation. Others will try to pull you back into old dynamics, uncomfortable with the changes they sense in your energy. And a few will simply fade away naturally, as if the invisible threads that once connected you have quietly dissolved. None of this is personal. It's just the natural reorganization that occurs when someone steps into a higher version of themselves. Your relationship with money is about to shift dramatically, not because you'll suddenly win the lottery or inherit a fortune, but because your understanding of value, worth, and abundance will expand beyond anything you currently comprehend. You'll start recognizing opportunities always there, but invisible, that were to your previous level of awareness. You'll begin attracting resources and support in ways that feel almost magical, but are actually the natural result of operating from a clearer frequency. The dreams you've been having aren't random neural firings during sleep. They're downloads of information, glimpses of potential futures, and messages from parts of yourself that exist beyond the limitations of your current identity. Pay attention to the symbols, the emotions, the people who appear in these nocturnal journeys. They're showing you pieces of the puzzle that your conscious mind isn't ready to assemble yet. Your body has been changing too, even if the shifts are subtle. You might find yourself craving different foods, needing different amounts of sleep, or feeling energized by you. Your to-drain activities, that physical vessel is recalibrating to support the new frequency you're embodying. Trust these impulses. Your body's intelligence knows exactly what it needs to facilitate this transition. The creative ideas that keep flooding your mind aren't distractions from more important responsibilities. They're blueprints for the work you came here to do. That story you keep meaning to write, the business concept that excites you, the artistic project that makes your heart race with possibility. These aren't frivolous pursuits. They're assignments from your soul, and the time to act on them is approaching faster than you realize. Every conversation you have now carries more weight than before, because people can sense something different about your presence even when they can't articulate what it is. You're beginning to speak from a deeper place of knowing, and your words carry an energy that penetrates beyond surface-level understanding. Some will be drawn to this authenticity like moths to flame. Others will feel threatened by it and react defensively. Both responses are information about where people stand in their own evolutionary process. The next few weeks will bring situations that seem designed specifically to test your commitment to this new way of being. Old temptations will resurface. Familiar problems will demand your attention. People from your past might unexpectedly reappear with offers or drama that could easily pull you back into previous patterns. These aren't setbacks or coincidences. They're final examinations, opportunities to demonstrate to yourself and the universe that you've truly integrated the lessons of your transformation. Your intuition has become your most reliable compass, but it's about to become even more refined and precise. You'll start receiving guidance not just through feelings and hunches, but through clear inner knowing that arrivesable steps. The days complete with action of second-guessing yourself are coming to an end because you're developing unshakable trust in the wisdom that flows through you when you're quiet enough to listen. The geographic location where you currently live might start feeling energetically mismatched to who you're becoming. This doesn't necessarily mean you need to move across the country, but it does mean your environment will need to shift in some way to support your continued growth. Maybe it's as simple as rearranging your living space, or as significant as relocating entirely. Trust whatever impulse emerges around this because your external world must reflect your internal transformation. Something profound is about to click into place that will make everything you've been through suddenly make perfect sense. The job you lost that devastated you at the time. The relationship that ended just when you thought it was getting serious. The opportunity that slipped through your fingers despite your best efforts. You'll see how each apparent setback was actually a redirection, steering you towards something infinitely better, aligned with your authentic path. The synchronicities are about to become so frequent and obvious that even the most skeptical parts of your mind will have to acknowledge that something extraordinary is orchestrating events in your favor. Numbers that keep appearing, songs that play at exactly the right moment, conversations that provide precisely the information you need to hear. The veil between the seen and unseen worlds is thinning for you, and magic is about to become your new normal. So here you are, standing at the threshold of everything you've been unconsciously preparing for your entire life. The restlessness, the questioning, the sudden clarity about what no longer serves you, it was all leading to this moment of recognition. You weren't lost when you felt disconnected from your old life. You weren't broken when familiar things stopped bringing you joy. You were shedding skin, making space for the expanded version of yourself that's been waiting patiently in the wings. The signs have been there all along, speaking a language your soul understood even when your mind couldn't translate the message. Every synchronicity, every unexpected door that opened, every relationship that naturally completed itself was part of an intricate design orchestrated by the intelligence that lives within you. You've been guided every step of the way, even through the moments that felt like chaos. Your transformation isn't coming. It's already here, woven into the fabric of this very moment. The person you're becoming isn't a future possibility. It's a present reality waiting for your full acceptance. Everything changes the second you stop waiting for permission to be who you already are deep down. Trust what's stirring in your chest as you hear these words. Trust the pull towards something greater. Trust the knowing that's been whispering your name in quiet moments. Because you weren't meant to find this message by accident. You were meant to remember that you've always been exactly where you needed to be, becoming exactly who you came here to be. And now, finally, everything is about to align.